Hi, friends! Have you ever wondered why some people wake up fresh and energetic, while others can't focus even after their morning coffee? Through this video, I am going to make you understand the concept of sleep recovery, and bust all the sleep-related myths as well. I have prepared this topic after extensive research and don't want you to miss out a single thing. For the ease of your understanding, I'll cover this topic in two parts. In the first part, I'll cover important sleep-related myths/facts, so you can understand the basic terms and concepts. Following this, in part 2, I'll explain how you can schedule your super simple and personalized sleep routine and wake up fresh, energetic, and focused on a daily basis. So without any further ado, let's get started. Sleep issues is something a lot of us are facing nowadays. But the problem isn't limited to how much sleep we're getting or what time are we able to sleep, but it also extends to the anxiety around our sleep caused by believing various myths. This leads me to our very first myth. Everyone needs 8 hours of sleep. For such a long time, this average value has been publicized as the optimum value for all of us. Healthy sleep can range from 6 hours to maybe 10 hours. There's so much individual variation, so instead of worrying about the number of hours of sleep that you might want to ask yourself, did I wake up naturally in the morning, or did I need an alarm to wake up? Generally, if you wake up naturally, you've got a pretty reasonable amount of sleep. And if you felt the urgent need for caffeinated drinks to help you become more awake, this would indicate you didn't get enough sleep. Myth number 2. It doesn't matter when you sleep, as long as you sleep enough. This is a myth because scientific studies have proven that when we sleep is actually super important as well. And that's all because our body follows circadian rhythm, which determines almost every aspect of our health and well-being. So what exactly is this circadian rhythm? It is essentially our body's internal clock that signals to our body what you need at a given time. In the 1990s, Russell and his research group discovered that there's a bunch of cells in our eyes that are only responsible for detecting light, rather than helping us to see. This light detection mechanism in our eyes tells our brain what time of the day it is, and helps regulate our internal clock. Now, since our internal clocks are sensitive to light, it means that generally we want to be awake when it's bright outside, and we want to be asleep when it's dark outside. You might wonder what would happen when the circadian rhythm is affected. That is, when you sleep at weird times like a night shift worker. Studies have proved that disruption of our circadian rhythm can invite a load of health problems like an increase in stress hormones, increase in the risk of heart disease, emotional and cognitive problems, neurodegenerative illnesses, and even cancer. Now, it's important to realize that even though we all have an internal clock ticking inside of us, not all of our internal clocks are set in exactly the same way. And so when you hear people saying, I'm a morning person or I'm a night owl, that relates to something called your chronotype. For example, someone who naturally gets up early and finds the morning to be the most productive hours of the day probably has a morning chronotype. And there's a super simple free questionnaire which will help you figure out what your own chronotype is. I'll link that down below in my description, so you can check it out later. But once you figure out your chronotype, then you must try as best as you can to organize your activities to fit your chronotype. Myth number 3, we should wake up at the same time every day. Now, this isn't entirely a myth, but you don't really need to be obsessed about it. There's going to be an occasion where you have a party, you're going to get up late, and sleep is very dynamic. Our circadian rhythms can change over the course of our life cycle. It's really common for teenagers to have more of an evening chronotype, which is why teenagers really struggle to wake up in the morning. And then as we age, we sort of move to a more morning chronotype. And by the time we reach our 5th or 6th decade of life, our circadian rhythm becomes like that of a child. Myth number 4. You should avoid blue light before sleep. So where does this come from? Well, blue light is a light that has short wavelength, and short wavelengths of light generally have more energy. So the scientists hypothesized that blue light makes it harder to fall asleep. And what followed was a huge sale for blue light filters in glasses. But this, my friends, is a myth. Recently, Harvard Group did a study where they made people to look at a Kindle, which is an e-reader, on its brightest intensity for 4 hours just before bedtime on 5 consecutive nights. The results were that it statistically delayed sleep onset by 10 minutes. Well, this may be statistically significant, but it's biologically meaningless. By the way, if you're enjoying these myths so far, I would request you to hit the like button. It'll motivate me to keep posting such health contents. Myth number 5. Sleep apps help you sleep better. These apps are so prone to error, and you might have had a good night's sleep, but seeing a lower score may upset you and play with your psychology, making you think, oh, I should be having a bad day since my score is low. And you might not know this, but none of these sleep apps are endorsed by any of the sleep federations worldwide. Compared to the sleep app scores, the biological and psychological signals that your body gives you are way more precious, like how you felt when you woke up. Did you need to wake up with an alarm or without? Did you urgently crave coffee to start your focused activity? How you felt the rest of the day? Myth number 6. Melatonin helps us sleep better. A bunch of people take it to combat jet lag, which is fine, but people have also started taking melatonin just to help with their sleep, which is not fine. The study done in 2007, which is often referenced in favor of taking melatonin, showed that it reduced the time it takes to get to sleep by 30 minutes. But the most important fact, which is sidelined, is that this study was done on autistic children. Almost all other studies showed minimal to no effects. So now you have your answer. Moving on to myth number 7. Polyphasic sleep is good for your productivity. So let's first understand what is polyphasic sleep. In simple words, it just means to sleep at multiple times throughout the day that sums up to your total required sleep hours. All of the data suggests that this is a really bad idea. In theory, it might give few more productive hours, but practical studies have shown that students who are on a polyphasic sleep schedule do worse in exams compared to the students who are in a normal monophasic sleep schedule. This winds up today's video. Let's meet in part 2, where I'm going to explain how you can make use of the existing scientific knowledge to schedule your super simple and personalized sleep routine and wake up fresh, energetic, and focused on a daily basis. I'd love to know in the comment section below, what is something that you've tried to improve your sleep and did it work, or didn't it work? If you like this video, I request you to like, share, and subscribe for more health info. Until then, take care and stay healthy.